I found this guy today. Actually, it was yesterday, and I'd like to share him with you. His channel name is John Hawkins, RWN, as in right-wing news. His videos are precious. They're just precious. I'd like to share a couple of them with you, a couple of snippets. They tend to be pretty short, and they basically are a series of his opinions and so forth about liberals and liberalism and so on and so forth. Let's have a look. Check this guy out.
120 seconds.
Why are liberals such unhappy people?
I'd be so happy if I wasn't a liberal. Oh.
You can look at surveys from Pew Research going all the way back to 1972.
I feel like I'm about to do a ponage video of John Candy's long-lost son.
In every year, across every bracket, you will find that Republicans are happier than Democrats.
Care to give a link? Yeah, I didn't think so. 38 years to choose from, give or take, and no links. Okay. Right. Thanks.
You can look at similar surveys from the National Science Foundation and from Arthur Brooks, and you find the same thing. Conservatives are significantly happier people than liberals.
Maybe I'm being silly, but that sounds like the type of a line you should have said with a smile. Just saying.
So ask yourself, how can this be?
What about the independents? Are the independents happy? Are they unhappy? Did anyone bother to ask them? Are you familiar with the saying, correlation is not equal to causation? For example, conservative, Republican type respondents are much more likely to be religious. There's always been a strong correlation with people reporting themselves as very happy if they're also religious and tend to attend church on a regular basis. Maybe that's part of it. Maybe it's not only a black and white issue. Maybe it's not only what political party they're affiliated with or how they vote. And what about those fucking independents? What about independents? Are they happy or not?
How is it that conservatives can be happier than liberals when liberals will tell you that conservatives are cruel and evil and mean?
What liberals are you listening to? Cruel and evil and mean? Yeah, okay, well, just because the new Republican-controlled House is passing bills that would, take away reproductive health care from something like 2.5 million, especially poor women in the United States, that's no reason to call them cruel. I know, it's all about creating jobs and whatnot.
They'll say we have no compassion.
Yeah, that too.
Despite the fact that conservatives in other surveys are shown to give more money to charity than liberals.
Once again, a link would be nice.
Why are conservatives happier than liberals? Because we believe in the traditional nuclear family.
At least he said nuclear correctly.
Because we don't think church is keeping you from doing something fun. We think church is keeping you on the right path so you'll do the right things and have a happier life.
And that's right, because no liberal anywhere has ever regularly attended church. Ever. Right?
Besides, we understand human beings better than liberals.
You understand? Alright, let's see where this is going.
That's why conservative ideas work.
Women should stay home and make babies.
Liberal ideas don't work.
Oh, like rejecting a theocratic monarchy in favor of a representative democracy?
Also, look at liberalism. It's a miserable philosophy. All it does these days is teach people that half the country hates them and pit groups of people against each other. How can you be happy doing that?
What in the blazes are you talking about?
And last but not least, conservatives believe in personal responsibility.
Yeah, you're right. I've never taken personal responsibility for anything. I've never been on time for any job I've ever held. Made an honest report to my boss. I've never been honest with my wife. I've never been honest with my family. No, you're right. We're just not into personal responsibility. Screw it. You know what? As a matter of fact, I haven't paid my taxes on time since they say that I've been owing taxes. Ever. Not once. Do you ever listen to yourself?
And taking care of your own life. You want to be miserable? Get in a jam and wait for the government to come help you. That is what misery is.
No, my friend. Misery is listening to some prat project who the hell knows what on an entire segment of the population based on, as far as I can tell, nothing. But wait, ladies and gentlemen, there's more. Let me show you another video. This guy loves Sarah Palin. Check this out. I love the sound of liberal sheep in the morning.
Whether she ever runs for president or not,
I think we both know what most liberals would prefer.
You could not find a much more admirable and inspirational human being than Sarah Palin.
Okay, fair enough. So he starts off with his thesis statement. Now we're going to hear supporting arguments.
We're talking about a woman
No arguments so far.
who is a cultural icon,
That can go either way.
a sex symbol, a political rock star,
So Joe doggone it, Joe doggone it, Joe doggone it, Joe doggone it.
and a feminist role model, all rolled up into one package. We're talking about a woman who's happily married, has 5 kids, has already, if she never does another thing, been a tremendous success in the political arena.
No, she has not. She was mayor of Wasilla, Alaska. Then she was elected governor. Then she left office mid-term to get a job as an analyst with Fox News. A tremendous success in the political arena? Your standards are pretty low. But let's see what else you have to talk about.
She's making money, hand over fist.
Yeah, now that she's an analyst for Fox News, she is. Yeah, hand over fist. Good for her.
She has made an incredible impact on politics in America. She's done more than anyone in history of the United States to get women elected.
And how exactly do you justify that claim?
And all the while, in her spare time, she goes out hunting caribou and she fishes with bears fighting 10 feet away. Look, there are people who would sell their soul to the devil to do less than that.
Have you heard that the devil's in the market?
This is just a hyper-competent woman.
If she was so hyper-competent, she would know what books she was reading. She would know what magazines she was subscribed to. Right? Hyper-competent.
Sadly, it's Sarah Palin's success that has made her so hated on the left.
I don't claim to speak for everyone on the left, but I don't personally hate the woman. I think she would probably be a nice enough person, to get to know if I knew her socially. What I hate is the idea of someone that uninformed and that clumsy being one heartbeat from the presidency of this country. Do you understand that? Do you understand that it's actually possible to look at this as not some sort of a black and white sort of an issue? Does this compute with you?
They are terrified she might be president.
I'm terrified that anyone that uninformed and that incompetent would be president. Anyone. Male, female, white, black, Caucasian, Asian. I don't give a shit. I don't want someone in that particular chair who has that little going on between their ears. Simple. Very simple.
They are terrified that women might think she's a better feminist role model than, say, someone like Hillary Clinton, who's achieved everything she has in life because she happened to marry the right man.
Yeah, prick.
And have you noticed that feminism these days is
Obviously a change of subject. Let's let him start over. Let him get through his whole little spiel here, and then I'll say my piece, and you guys can do the same at your leisure with comments or responses or whatever. Check this out.
And have you noticed that feminism these days is nothing but a bunch of bitter, man-hating harpies who live for nothing but abortions and acting like hoes while they blame the patriarchy for their lousy lives? That's why so many liberals really hate Sarah Palin, because she's proven women don't need liberalism to succeed.
Have you noticed that conservatives are all overweight white guys with slight southern twangs whose perspectives have no depth? Whose opinions lack compassion? and are based on generalizations of generalizations? Have you noticed how their revisionist views of history compel them to advocate for policies and legislation that are diametrically opposed to their own best interests? Have you noticed that your channel, which I'm not sure what exactly the point of it is, but it seems to be basically liberal bashing. Have you noticed that your channel is the embodiment, almost the definition of irony, in the sense that the founding fathers of this country were themselves, by definition, by practice, and by action, were liberals? These are the men that threw out theocratic monarchy in favor of a representative democracy. And just for the record, when we hear you guys parroting talking points from Fox News and Beck and Palin and Hannity and whoever else is on there nowadays, what's primarily going through our minds is rejection, but also sadness and regret and pity. Have you noticed these things? And just as food for thought, John Candy Hawkins' son, how conservative are you? How far back do you want to go? You want to go back to before women didn't have a vote? You want to go back to when women's bodies weren't their own to decide how to treat and when to treat? When they didn't have the freedom to get referrals for services that were medically necessary? Do you want to go back to when we had slavery? Probably not. But where does it stop? This is a country founded by liberalism, not conservatism. And all your revisionism isn't going to undo that fact. I'd be interested in the response. I hope you accept this as a response to your videos. It would demonstrate at least that you're willing to have some sort of a dialogue. And something tells me that you're not. I'd like to be proven wrong on that one. Thanks for watching.
Say it ain't so, Joe, doggone it. Joe, doggone it. Joe, doggone it. Joe.